أعوذ بالله من الشيطان الرجيم بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم الحمد لله رب العالمين والصلاة والسلام على سيد الأولين والآخرين سيدنا محمد وعلى آله وصحبه أجمعين. وصلنا إلى عام الوفود, year 9 after Hijrah. A lot of wufud delegations and groups came from different directions to give either pledge of allegiance to the Nabi Sallallahu Alaihi Wasallam and accept Islam, or get into a pact or a treaty of peace with him, different purposes. But it was clear that Islam is now dominating Arabia, and everybody is coming either to accept or to try to ally with Nabi Sallallahu Alaihi Wasallam and Muslims. Up to that point, Nabi Sallallahu Alaihi Wasallam has lived for how many years being a prophet? Up to year 9 after Hijrah.
62 years now.
Being a prophet.
Oh,
he became a prophet.
22 years.
22 years, because 13 in Mecca plus 9, that's going to be 22 years. Did you, if you probe that quickly, do you see any, like what points do you see that the Nabi Sallallahu Alaihi Wasallam now is, victorious? I mean, like enjoying being a leader of Muslims, or actually none of this happened, because all of his time either in Mecca or in Medina was all about work and work for the sake of Allah Azza wa Jal. Not only work is actually a minor word for that. It was all struggle against enemies in Mecca, against even with his friends and companions. He was teaching them and establishing a new religion and changing the style of life of these people who were, some of them were fighting each other just a few months before he come to them. فما رأى النبي صلى الله عليه وسلم لحظة يعني من لحظات السعادة أو كذا، لكن قدر الله عز وجل made it qadr that he will see the production of his work at least for one time before he dies, before he passed away عليه الصلاة والسلام. And that happened in Hajjat al-Wada', when the Nabi sallallahu alayhi wa sallam at year 9 and year 10 after Hijrah, Allah Azza wa Jalla would predestined for him to make Hajj, and he would set out for Hajj to see all of these tens of thousands of people. Around 130,000 Muslims were there, and he was given khutbah, and no water or nothing. That was just like one ritual of Islam, one sha'ira. Allah Jalla qaddar lahu an yara kull hadhihi al-jumu'ah. Tafasil al-Hajj, the details of that, and Nabi Sallallahu Alaihi Wasallam set out from Medina, or before he set out, he announced and he ordered people to announce in all tribes and all Muslims in Medina and outside Medina that he is intending to make Hajj this year for whoever wants to join. Obviously everybody was interested to make Hajj. That's the first Hajj for the Prophet ﷺ, and obviously he become kind of old and nobody knows, so everybody wants to join the Nabi ﷺ for Hajj. تجمع لهذا جموع كثيرة جدا في المدينة. So many people came from all directions. خرج بهم النبي صلى الله عليه وسلم في يعني لست بقينا من أو لخمس بقينا من ذي القعدة. He left on the 26th of Dhul Qa'dah. Obviously for Hajj you're talking about 2 weeks before Hajj, and he moved from his house in Medina on that day. It was Saturday. He went to Dhul Hulayfa, the place we will be talking mainly about the procedures of Hajj. Anybody who made Hajj before, that's what the Nabi Sallallahu Alaihi Wasallam did, and that's what we are doing in following him alayhi salatu wasalam. He started making the ihram from Dhul Hulayfa. Nowadays it's part of Medina, in the suburbs of Medina, but back then it was outside Medina. He traveled and he prayed there Asr and Maghrib, and he stayed, he even actually spent the night over there. And قال أتاني آت من ربي, Wahy came to him from Allah Azza wa Jalla to tell him to make Hajj and Umrah, to make the intention of making Hajj and Umrah together. Before that, it was big illegal or big haram thing for anybody to make Umrah in the time of Hajj. That's why Nabi Sallallahu Alaihi Wasallam was ordered to make Hajj and Umrah with one intention, and he will say the intention of making Hajj and Umrah. He will announce it after praying 2 rak'ah, after praying Salatul Dhuhr actually, 2 rak'ah, because he was traveling, he started his travel already. And now he started saying that, and he started making talbiyah, and he said that again, or repeated this again when he sat out of the masjid and got to his camel. Repeated that, and when the camel started moving, he repeated that again. So it's sunnah to say talbiyah and to announce the intention in all of these times. in preparation for that, before he's put on the ihram and everything, he did like we know, he got a shower and he got some perfume and he put the two shrouds, al-ihram, al-rida يعني الإزار, the two pieces of clothes or sheets of clothes, and then قال اللهم لبيك حجا وعمرة لبيك اللهم لبيك لبيك لا شريك لك لبيك إن الحمد والنعمة لك والملك لا شريك لك, وكان أحيانا يقول لبيك إله الحق. He announced that. واصل سير النبي صلى الله عليه وسلم. He continued and he reached صباح الأحد, Sunday morning, 4th of the Hijjah. He was getting to the borders of Mecca. He waited there in Dhul Quwa and he got a shower in preparation for entering Mecca. And he entered Mecca to make tawaf. He made tawaf and he made the sa'i between Safa and Marwa 7 times and 7 times. And he stayed in his ihram, not taking off his ihram, because his intention was to make Hajj and Umrah together. فَكَانَ قَارِنًا بَيْنَهُمْ عَلَيْهِ الصَّلَاةُ وَالسَّلَامُ. The Hajj that we do nowadays, we do the Umrah and then we break, or we stop the state of ihram by taking off the clothes and everything. And then we make ihram, we wait until the day of Hajj or Yawm al-Tarwiyah, where we make intention and put on the ihram for al-Hajj. Three different ways of making Hajj, but the Nabi Sallallahu Alaihi Wasallam, the way he did it, he made combination. Both of them were combined, and in this case he should not take his ihram, and this is what he did. But he recommended the companions to do the version of breaking their tawaf, breaking their ihram, and then and the day of Hajj or before Hajj they will make another intention, which is a tamattu. And he did that because he got already the hadi with him and he made the intention to make it qiran. ثم توجه يوم التروية, in the day 8th of Dhul Hijjah, توجه إلى منى. النبي صلى الله عليه وسلم stayed this one whole day in Mina until the 9th, the beginning of 9th. He prayed Dhuhr, Asr, Maghrib and Isha and Fajr of the 9th, which is Yawm Arafah, 9th of Dhul Hijjah. All of them in Mina. He prayed all of that in Mina. Then when the sun rose, he started moving to Arafah, فَأَتَى Arafah, and he had a tent over there. Many people, they had a lot of things. They believe that they have to stay at certain points in Arafah. Anywhere in Arafah, should be fine, not necessarily in the mountain of Al-Rahmah, or, anywhere we should be good. And Nabi Sallallahu Alaihi Wasallam stayed close to Namira or in Namira. And then he came to Wadi Urana by Dhuhr time. He gave a short khutbah. And that was khutbah, he gave khutbah on the day of Arafah, and another khutbah or speech on Yawm al-Nahr, which is the 10th, and then another khutbah, awasat ayam al-tashriq, in the middle of the days of Mina. These khutbah, that was the main one, or this one, and the next day will be the main one, khutbah al-mashhura, في حجة الوداع, the very famous speech that he gave the Nabi sallallahu alayhi wa sallam, وقال أيها الناس اسمعوا قولي فإني لا أدري لعلي ألقاكم بعد عام هذا بهذا الموقف أبدا إن دماءكم وأموالكم وأعراضكم عليكم حرام كحرمة يومكم هذا حرام عليكم كحرمة يومكم هذا في شهركم هذا في بلدكم هذا ألا كل شيء من أمور الجاهلية موضوع تحت قدمي إلى آخر ما ذكره النبي صلى الله عليه وسلم. Number one, he said that your blood and your property and yourselves are all, or your honor, are all sacred. You cannot violate that, because it was easy before that for Jahiliyyah people to attack, to violate, to demonize, to do so many things that are unethical and illegal. And Nabi Sallallahu Alaihi Wasallam said all of that is, you are sacred, 100% sacred for your Muslim brother. You have to respect that. It's as sacred as this month of Dhul Hijjah in this very town of Al-Balad Al-Haram. And then he started removing and taking away umur al-jahiliyyah. He talked about al-riba, no more riba in dealing or transaction. And he started by voiding the riba that was done by some of his family members like Al-Abbas. And then he gave the order of al-nisa, قال اتقوا الله في النساء, fear Allah Azza wa Jalla and have taqwa and be conscious to Allah as far as your women. Because some people, they think or they abuse that. قال فإنكم أخذتموهن بأمانة الله واستحللتم فروجهن بكلمة الله. It's like amana. You got this by the amana of Allah, the trust of Allah, and you now have this legal relationship with them because of the word of Allah. And he gives so many other advices, and then he asks people, amongst what he said also, قال وقد تركت فيكم ما لن تضلوا بعده إن اعتصمتم به كتاب الله. And I have left with you something that if you hold firm to it, you will never go astray. You will never go astray. And he said that is the book of Allah, Al-Quran. Let's check, me and you, our relationship with the book of Allah Azza Jalla. And Ramadan is coming bi'idhnillahi ta'ala in less than a week. So that will be a golden chance for everybody to hold back to the robe of Allah, or Hablullah, or Kitabullah Azza wa Jalla. قال وأنتم تسألون عني فما أنتم قائلون. You'll be questioned about me. Everybody will be questioned about the Nabi sallallahu alayhi wa sallam in his grave. Amongst the three questions, who is the man, or what would he say about the man that was sent to you? Did he give the message to you? Who was this person? So قالوا, he said, what would you say? قالوا نشهد أنك بلغت وأديت ونصحت. We bear witness that you conveyed the message and you did it to your best and you fulfilled the amana. فقال بإصبعه السبابة يرفعها إلى السماء وينكتها إلى الناس اللهم اشهد اللهم اشهد اللهم اشهد, oh Allah, be my witness. Like that was clear that he is fulfilling his message, and that was almost the conclusion of his message. That's why shortly after that, after he finished the speech, or during that time, he said, he received the ayah from Allah. Allah Jalla revealed to him, اليوم أكملت لكم دينكم. Today I completed for you your deen. وأتممت عليكم نعمتي. Completed for you, or perfected for you, my ni'mah, my blessing. وَرَضِيتُ لَكُمُ الْإِسْلَامَ دِينًا. And I approved for you Islam as the religion. فكان يوم سعادة ويعني وشكر ونعمة. It was a day of blessing, it was a day of Eid, or happiness for Muslims. After that, Bilal radiallahu anhu started giving the adhan for Salatul Dhuhr, and Nabi sallallahu prayed Dhuhr 2 rak'ah, and then he made iqamah for Dhuhr before it, definitely, and then he made another iqamah for Asr, and they prayed Asr as well, 2 rak'ah. And Nabi sallallahu stayed in Arafah until the end of the day, until sunset, and right after sunset, he started moving to Muzdalifah, where he will spend the night in Muzdalifah, and he prayed Maghrib and Isha, combined and shortened in the time of Isha when he reached there. And then he will sleep until the end, until Fajr will come. Right after Fajr, or he will wait for a while until the day will start, breaking, and then after that he will move back to Mina. And in Mina, so many days, that was the 9th of the Hijjah, Yawm al-Nahr. Yawm al-Nahr, the day of the slaughter. He will do certain things like Ram al-Jamarat. Nabi sallallahu alayhi wa sallam, he got 7 pebbles and he threw the Jamarat. وقال خذوا عني مناسككم فلعلي لا أحج بعد عامي هذا. Take your rituals from me. You never know, I may not be able to make Hajj after this year. Then he slaughtered the Nahar al-Hadi. He slaughtered his Hadi, or his animals, and they were 100 camels, even though he had to do just one share, one goat or something would be enough for one person. That was his own camels, 100 camels. He gave it as a gift for the house or for Allah Azza wa Jalla. He slaughtered 63 with his hand, alayhi and he left the rest for Ali ibn Abi Talib, 37 that Ali radiallahu anhu completed them. Then he came to Mecca to make Tawaf al-Ifadah, and then he will come back to Ayyam al-Tashriq, to Mina. He stayed 11th, 12th and 13th, all of them in Mina, and every day he will throw the 3 pebbles, not only Jamrat al-Aqaba al-Kubra, the big one as he did on the day of Eid, but on these 3 days, every day he will throw the 3 Jamarat. He will throw the 3 Jamarat, each one 7 times. As we mentioned, he gave another khutbah in the day of An-Nahr, where he repeated almost the same thing and added a little bit, and another khutbah in the middle of Ayyam al-Tashriq, and by then he received Surah Al-Nasr. إِذَا جَاءَ نَصْرُ اللَّهِ وَالْفَتْحِ وَرَأَيْتَ النَّاسَ يَدْخُلُونَ فِي دِينِ اللَّهِ أَفْوَاجًا فَسَبِّحْ بِحَمْدِ رَبِّكَ وَاسْتَغْفِرْهُ إِنَّهُ كَانَ تَوَّابًا. When the victory of Allah has come to you, and the conquest or the liberation, fath, everything is open for you now. And you see people coming to deen in droves, أفواجا, فسبح. That's the time to make tasbih, to thank Allah Azza wa Jal, and to ask forgiveness for any shortcoming or anything. إِنَّهُ كَانَ تَوَّابًا. Indeed, he is tawwaba, or he accepts the repentance. So scholars mentioned that was the last surah to be revealed in the Quran, meaning as one surah. The whole surah that come together as being the last one, it was this surah. Because after that it was just a few months when the Nabi Sallallahu Alaihi Wasallam will die after that. Then Aisha radiallahu anha, because she had some reason, she had the blood and so on, Nabi Sallallahu Alaihi Wasallam asked her brother to take her for Umrah. She went out for a tan'im and she came back to make Umrah, and Nabi Sallallahu Alaihi Wasallam waited for her and everybody was waiting for her. She finished the Umrah and he will leave back to Al-Madinah. When he reached Al-Madinah, كبر لما لاحت معالمها, he said takbir 3 times and he said لا إله إلا الله وحده لا شريك له له الملك وله الحمد وهو على كل شيء قدير آيبون تائبون عابدون ساجدون لربنا حامدون صدق الله وعده ونصر عبده وهزم الأحزاب وحده. That was almost the conclusion of his life, and he finished Hajj, which is the 5th pillar of Islam that he was teaching people to do, and Allah gave him victory, and now Muslims are just like going by themselves because it's established. Islam is established. That's why he was giving this dua and this prayer and this thanks to Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. Shortly after that, Ba'atha Usama, he was preparing Usama ibn Zayd and appointed him to be the leader. We can talk about this we always talk about it, with how he appointed somebody who was 16, 17, and in some narration he was even younger than this to be the leader of the army, where Abu Bakr and Umar and everybody was there in this army, and he ordered him to go all the way to Al-Balqa and almost to Palestine area nowadays, Palestine. He ordered him to go all the way there, like to establish the authority of Islam and Muslim state all the way there. But when he was in the suburbs of Medina, when the army moved, few miles, 3 miles, almost 3 miles, they got the news that the Nabi Sallallahu Alaihi Wasallam got sick, and he was like severely sick. So Usama decided to stay there and probably wait. He doesn't know what's going to happen. So he waited there, and actually this will be Marad al-Maut in Nabi Sallallahu Alaihi Wasallam, the sickness that he will pass away because of it. And we will discuss this inshallah in the last session. We still have a couple of sessions inshallah. We discuss this later next time بإذن الله تبارك وتعالى. أقول قولي هذا أستغفر الله لي ولكم وصلى الله على سيدنا محمد وآله وصحبه وسلم.